Hello and welcome. My name is Paweł Piwosz and you are listening to Last Week in IT, the weekly podcast. Together with my fantastic co-hosts Jakub Siwiecki and Jan Mazurek, we'll give you our perspectives on recent news, events, announcements and many more. And we do it in our own style. Join us and enjoy the show. Alright, hello and welcome. So let's get started. So this is our first episode. So this episode will be fully focused on us because why not, right? So let me tell you a little bit what we will do during our 15 minutes with you. So generally we want to focus on IT, but that surprise probably, right? But not just on the technical level, or I would say not on technical level at all. We are a group of very experienced with different areas people, but our experience is fully pushed in IT world, and this is what will happen in this podcast. We will talk about organizations, about the processes, about the many other things which we believe are interesting, and we try to give you different perspective than just usually you can find in other materials. Right, so today with me we have two great guys, and really thank you folks that you agreed to be part of this, because I'm not able to do it without you. And we know each other quite well, I think, for a couple of years. And so let me introduce Janek. You will be one of our co-hosts here, so you will give your heart, your everything.
Blood, sweat, and tears
Yes,
to make the
exactly,
session entertaining and enjoyable for our audience.
Exactly. So please tell us a couple of words about yourself and why.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast. And hopefully, you will have as much fun listening to this podcast as we creating it. So, my name is Jan, and actually, for the past 20 years, I have been working in the IT industry in various different roles. I've been playing the role of quality assurance engineer, business analyst, product owner, scrum master, product manager. So basically, I have a wide range of experience in the analytical part, but also as a trainer in soft skills and presentation skills. I have also a outside look, not only on the IT industry itself, but also on the people side of the organization. And I will try to counteract Paweł's technical background with my soft skills and my people approach. So hopefully that perspective will bring some joy and bring some maybe also even open questions that maybe you will have an opportunity one day to ask our host, and he will maybe be able to even raise the questions that you will raise to us.
That's fantastic. I'm waiting for it. And so we need some people with soft skills next to the guy who spent like 14 years in dungeons as a sysadmin, barking on everyone around, right? So you mentioned soft skills, so this leads us to Kuba. Kuba, if you could give us some background of yourself.
Sure. Hi all who decided to tune in, and I hope enjoy the time with us. Well, I wanted to say that it's a surprise having you guys so deeply involved in IT to have me. I would say so deeply involved in soft skills, but well, Janek changed my plan mentioning this. Generally, when it comes to me, I'm a psychologist and 16 years in business, as I remember, and mostly I was helping all kinds of businesses, many different businesses and industries to grow, to support, help even with acquisition. And I was doing it by some consultancy and training, development of teams, of individual, support in a way of coaching, and to build some kind of bridge between our topic and your experience. Lately, I decided to immerse a bit more into IT and decided to dive into data engineering. So I think this is some kind of like part of that is common between all of us. And I think that's all about me.
And I
Yeah,
think that makes also a nice parallel that we started from technical side from Pavel, went to my soft skills and business analyst part. We went to your soft skills and then went back to the technical part with your data side, right? And it's a nice circle back to Pavel to the technical aspect.
Yeah, so I'm this person who is deeply technical here, and at least I will to think about that about myself in that way. Anyway, yeah, I am in IT in 25 years, right? So I spent my years really as this kind of sysadmin from memes, right? So the guy who is really some kind of is isolated from others, just to be sure, right? And yeah, that's
Well, sorry to step in, but Pavel, you're isolated a bit because like Jan and me, we are in the same city, right? So
yes.
so
Yeah,
you decided to
true.
isolate from us.
Exactly. Yeah. So for your curiosity, we all of us are in Poland, but Janek and Kuba are living in Gdańsk on the north, and I'm the person from the south, right? So from Krakow. So we have like a safe 600 kilometers between us.
However, people from Gdynia would take offense if you would tell them that they are from Gdańsk. And people from Gdańsk would take offense if you tell them that they are from Gdynia.
I'm sorry, that's true. That's true. So yeah.
So to clarify, for those of you who are listening for the first time, there is a metropolitan area in the north of Poland called the Tri-City, combined of three cities: Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia, and whereas with Jakub we are working in Gdańsk, we are recording this podcast from Gdynia. So yeah, setting for the record information straight.
Right, that's true, and yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, you mentioned very important thing, and this is part of my introduction, let's say. So I often laugh that I didn't came to IT to talk with people, right? And that was my perspective 25 plus years ago. But today I would say about IT, this is basically the people business, and this is what I try to connect in my work, right? So I'm deeply devoted and involved in the DevOps work, and not as a DevOps engineer, because I really hate to hear that, because there is nothing like DevOps engineer. Did you ever try to hire agile engineer? Probably not. So why you try to hire DevOps engineer? So I try to combine those elements from all angles, and find the proper, let's say, perspective, view, maybe path for growing DevOps mindset, right? So this is something more than just technicalities, right? So that's why I believe we somehow, we are different, but we have a lot of common things together, right? So especially on this soft skill aspect.
We are humans, all of us.
Exactly, and this is the thing which I really like to touch many times during this podcast. So the human aspect, because this is really important, right? So when we hear about those huge layoffs, right? So when we hear about different things, there are always human involved in this. So we still are not in that moment of our, let's say, growth as a humankind, that we can remove this human equation from this perspective, right? So that's why I believe, honestly, I prefer to do the podcast with you than just another technical podcast, because
Yeah, for people, by people, our motto.
with
And our slogan.
ChatGPT.
I just wanted to mention that you could have a conversation with chat, and so.
Yeah. And spoiler, next episode will be about ChatGPT and the issue, or whatever we can call it, which probably you heard already, related to Samsung. So we will talk about chatting with ChatGPT and human aspect in that, I believe. Right. So the goal of our podcast, I believe we just explain what we want to do, right? So we want to do a simple thing, talk about IT from human perspective.
Yeah, kind of like demystify it, kind of like bring the IT industry closer to the people. Because also, I sometimes struggle whenever people ask me, what do you do at work? Well, how to explain in simple layman's terms what is the role and responsibility of a business analyst? If I would tell them I attend meetings and I talk to people, that's not necessarily the gist of it, but that's my main activity, right?
But you know what? This is somehow something what people who are completely not involved, right? So in this world, IT world, they can understand it somehow, right? You talk with people, okay. I don't get why you are in IT, but you talk with people. I understand more or less what you do. But if I tell someone that I'm using infrastructure as code to create the pipelines in cloud to deliver some microservices somewhere, it will be easier if I will be just the support guy who fixes the printers. Right? So,
True.
but yes, you're right. So this is another aspect, right? So, so something what really is tough to grasp for people who are not related to IT, right? There is so many very specific roles and very specific positions in our world. Like, for example, you mentioned BA, right? So who the hell is business analyst, and why we need him, right? He's not from the business, he's not from the IT, but he's from both. Right? So yeah, we will debunk this, I hope.
One day I will definitely tell a story of the unbelievable coincidence why I, as a graduate of technical physics, which is also not a IT profession, managed to end up in a position and a role of a business analyst in a big IT organization.
So I'm graduated from the finance and marketing. So that's start to be interesting, right? But yeah, that's also something what we can and we will touch, right? So today, the entry point to IT is different than it was 20, 30 years ago, right? I'm not saying right now that is better or worse or easier or harder, or easier now and harder in 1 year or something like that when you already join IT. But we have so many possibilities to join, to enter this world, right? And honestly, as we touch the human aspect, we start to see problems with that, right? So that's also the thing, I think. So at least I believe so, right? So our 15 minutes is almost finished. So folks, do you want to say anything to our listeners?
Maybe just to sum up, like power to people, I would say. So like we're doing this to you, for us as well. So everywhere, whenever I just look around, I would say people. So I hope that will be very helpful to others with this podcast.
And I hope that the topics that we will cover while discussing, with a completely different perspective, like we presented, that we have a technical person, we have a soft skill person, we have a business-oriented person, that the view that altogether we will share with a bit of humor, with a bit of interrupting one another every now and then, will be really something different and something that you will find appealing, and that because of this different perspective, each and every one of you who have decided to tune in and listen to us will be able to find something for themselves to appreciate it, but also to maybe we will be able to achieve some thought-provoking output in you, or maybe even we will be able to, wishful thinking, change your life for better.
And with this, like a grand idea, thank you very much for today, for listening our first episode, and be prepared for the next one, which we propose to you quite soon in weekly manner, as name suggests, I believe. Right, so thank you very much, and see you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
And that's it for today. This was Last Week in IT. Thank you for listening, and please join us for the next episode. Follow us on social media, subscribe and comment. If you agree, disagree, or just want to say hello, we are waiting for you. Stay tuned, stay IT.